Welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. It's your host, Matt Heath, guys. What's happening? How you guys been out there? It is a bleak December day over here right now, man. This is like, I walked outside. The grass is even covered in a sheet of ice. You know what I mean? You go out there and it's like the whole parking lot of my building is like a damn ice rink. Go out there, pick the ice off the car, go down to go down to the CVS and get some drinks to hydrate. Do a little cleanse, you know. Fast for a day. I mean, I eat junk food all the time, anyways, man. I need a good fasting day, you know, at least once a week. I'm starting to think. You know what I mean, guys? And one fasting day is not gonna kill me. You know, I already know I overeat. Why not just do a fasting day? I mean, obviously, if I were to actually start to exercise, I would be just ravenously hungry. Anyways, I got a great guest for you guys, Alex Tomaselli. You guys are gonna love this episode. I'm telling you, this guy's something else. I do want to point out in the interview, I do a like this voice of this manager. It's Dana Carvey's character. I would never lie to you folks, um, you know, and do comedy that wasn't my own. I will always mention it in the monologue if I didn't mention it when we were, you know, at least I got to give you that. Anyways, Alex Tomaselli, what a character that guy is. You know, he and his roommate and it's like a comedy crowd over there, man. I'm getting around to interviewing those guys too. Um, you know, I gotta have Denver back on again, man. Lost his interview. It's in the cyber space out there, or it's like embedded in crypto code. I don't know. I don't really know how losing files on the computer works. It's for the nerds to figure out. Nerds, we will pay dearly. You think they'd ever take my podcast away from me, folks? I don't know. That's all speculation. Read my books, Scared Out of Dickens, Renaissance Men, Pawnbrokers. You can buy them on Amazon.com. You can come down to Tumbleweeds record store in Niantic to buy my album. I don't know. I think it's the winter has got me down, folks. But, well, you know, fun times will happen again, especially when I'm hosting at the Elbow Room next Monday. I'm hosting. Please stop by just to watch the comedy, because if it's all comics there, it's kind of a headache. Not that I don't, I mean, I love the comics. The other comics are great. I just want some, I want to hear regular human being laughter, Comics laugh in a completely different way, you know? Completely different way. They're looking for the beats. They're just looking for, because they're all looking for the best beats. You have to say something intelligent to make them laugh. Anyways, Enjoy my interview with Alex Tomaselli. All right, welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. I'm sitting here with Alex Tomaselli.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? How you been, man?
Chilling, dude. We just jump right in, huh?
Yeah, why not?
You didn't tell me what this was about. You're just like, podcast, man. I'm coming over. I'm fine. I don't care. I'm not.
Oh, I thought you might have already had an idea because a lot of, the people in your circle have been on the podcast already.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
See, Denver, so Denver told me, but he didn't tell me it was this podcast. He was just one day like, hey, you want to do mics tonight? Or I was like, you want to come over and watch like some Japanese shit? And he's like, doing a podcast. And I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm done podcasts. He tried to.
It's just because it was Denver. It sounded pretentious for
no,
like
he
no
did
reason.
it on purpose. That's my dude.
I'm actually doing a podcast.
He told me to step my game up and shit. Oh, that motherfucker.
But it's funny you bring that one up because he is among of the two lost episodes of my podcast. Him and Jimmy Blair
up, dude.
are the two lost episodes of my podcast. It's but I have a whole new setup here. My laptop's got a new battery, new operating system. There's a new hard drive I have, so I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Does this picks you up too? Okay.
Yeah. This mic is for the guest that the Snowball mic.
All right.
So laptop's also got an internal mic. That's my whole setup. I don't think I've ever explained the setup on the podcast before. So.
No. Well, you just jumped in, man. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't know if you have a direction or anything.
Well, the direction of it's called the 1000 Comics Podcast, and it's mainly focused on whatever comic I have on the podcast. I kind of like to get their origin story,
Oh, origin.
Yeah, so I guess we could start with when did you start in comedy? How long you been doing it?
I'm coming up 2 years due to January, like mid-January. I can't remember the exact date, to be honest. I just know it was January. So, coming up with 2 years, and yeah, that's how long.
2 years.
Yeah. So I'm not really I'm a baby in almost every sense of the word.
In the circle I mentioned before, like Cliff Mula, Denver, Mustafa, you've been doing a little bit longer than most of those guys?
No, specifically longer than Denver and Mustafa. And me and Ish Gupta, also probably the circle you're talking about also. He and I started like weeks apart of each other. Cliff's been doing it a tad longer.
Now, are you and Ish roommates?
Yes, and we're roommates.
Now,
I didn't start out as roommates. Now we're roommates. So.
You're almost, it's like one of those comedy, there's these apartments in New York that are like called comedy something, I forget what they're called, but like it's usually all comedians that are roommates. And it's like, I had never even like seen that in Connecticut until yesterday when I went over your place.
Yeah, we're trying to get a third comedian into the living space, but we're having
honestly,
there's a whole set of things going on there.
I could never be in the situation where I had male roommates again. Yeah. Like I'm way past that point, but like I feel like that's for college.
Oh, okay.
Having male roommates is for college, and then it's like I would rather live in the smallest apartment, which you can clearly see, by myself, than have to live with
this is it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fine. I love it. You're clean too. Yeah. Anyone listening who's ever met Matt Heath or talked to him, you'd be surprised how immaculate his apartment is.
Oh my God!
Shocked. I'm not exaggerating.
You know what's funny? In the lost episode of Jimmy Blair, he said the exact same thing.
If you I don't know who.
It's because I'm fat, right? And you associate being fat guys with being a slob.
No, I don't think you're fat. I just have been around you numerous times where you're like, I'm going to have another drink. And I'm like, there's no way when he goes home, there's not beer cans everywhere. I'm just saying, beer cans. I figured your TV would be on and broken.
But you know something? I think a lot of the, because I think it's only the nights I do comedy. I drink too. I also work
you're
a
not
lot
drunk
of nights.
now. Yeah.
You know,
we just did some stuff.
Back in the day, yes. When I first started living on my own, and this was years ago, my apartment is probably exactly like you would imagine it to be, like awful looking.
Dude, this is crazy clean. Like,
here's the thing though, too. I don't really eat in the apartment. I'm always eating out. Probably why I'm fat. Probably why the apartment's clean. Because it's like I never have a dish to clean if I'm always eating out. You know.
Yeah. That's the only problem living with dudes, too, is, like, we just gotta stay on... Because, as you know, guys are fucking gross. So, we all have to stay on top of each other.
But
that's it, really.
That's the thing. I think
great.
when I was like, it's kind of cool that these comics are living together. But then it's like you guys had, like, words with each other about doing the dishes.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like, you know what? No, I kind of like...
I know. Well, you may not be able to tell by hanging out with me and Ish, but I'm, like... more cleanly. I'm more of like the clean guy around the apartment. Like I like shit in order because we're all single guys, dude. If any of us brings a lady home and one of us made a fucking mess, I have to explain that shit. It's that simple, dude. It's like if I bring a chick home and I'm like, you want some food? Bring her in the fucking kitchen and there's pasta sauce bins filled up with water because he's late, whatever.
Okay.
Clearly there's
but not necessarily being like a whole let's shit on ish.
I'm not at all.
And obviously, like, you both...
That's my dude. My dude. Yeah,
because clearly
I wouldn't say to his face.
I went over to your apartment, too, and it's a clean apartment, too. It's but it's like for two comedians living together, you would think that it's like the most awful looking apartment. You know what I mean?
There's three, but not two.
Oh, but your third guy's not a comedian,
right? He's another guy. I don't want to talk about that one, dude. You can let Ish talk about that one.
All right, we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, because that's legally we don't even know.
You know what's funny? But last night, that was the first time I've done that in a while and hung out with, like, a couple comedians and just watched the movie. It was like, I felt like, because I was the one that chose the movie, like, everyone around me is being, like, ultra critical of it. You know what I mean?
I was just baked watching the movie. That's how I watch movies. They were, I think they were just, not they as in like, they were just trying to take in the movie because they were, I don't know, they saw Woody Harrelson. We were watching Kingpin, for anyone wondering. Started watching, I'd never seen Kingpin, so we threw on Kingpin.
Right.
And the other comedians we were with were, they seemed to like it, but they didn't seem enthralled in the movie. No one did.
You know,
just recapping a movie or fucking watching.
I think it's weird. It's like it's one of those movies though too.
I'm gonna finish it. I just didn't have time.
But even though you hadn't seen it, it's one of those movies where it's like you felt like you saw like half of it on TV, even though you definitely
No, I've definitely
the whole
seen
thing.
Parts of it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like that movie, it's just like if you're not into the cartoonish like humor at the time, like. You know, it's like Dumb and Dumber is one of those movies I've seen like 100 times.
That's
a
pinnacle for me, yeah.
But do you think also like being like a dude from New England, it's like almost like you have to fucking love the like Dumb and Dumber? You know, just because those dudes are like in Rhode Island, and they're fucking morons.
That's a lovely accent you have, New Jersey. Yeah, just the references, even just shit like that.
Right,
that's a good. That movie fucking rules, dude. When I watched it when I was younger and thought it was funny, and when I got older, there's just context I didn't get, and now it's fucking hilarious. Like, a simple line in that movie is, pull over, it's a cardigan, thanks for asking. Pull over, it's so dumb, but it's great, dude.
I don't know, you're right. The fucking movie is so clever. It's like, it's more clever than it is dumb.
Yeah, hell yeah.
While, I don't know, if you saw the second Dumb and Dumber, did you enjoy it?
Which one? The when Harry Lloyd or Dumb and Dumber 2?
I would honestly say, like, and I will admit this right here on this podcast, that the fucking prequel to Dumb and Dumber is actually funnier than the sequel to Dumb and Dumber.
Okay. Yeah, I would too, because I didn't, well, first of all, completely honest, I didn't see the sequel because I heard it was awful, and I could tell it was going to be bad. But when I initially, it's been years since I've seen When Harry Met Lloyd, I liked it. Yeah. I liked it at the time. It was stupid, and it was just, but it had callbacks to the, I thought it was well made. And
I think
at the time, I don't know. I could watch it
weird.
now.
There was almost like more love for the first one than the
I didn't see this. I didn't want to. They look too old. It was weird.
I think that's the whole thing about it, where it's like, it's funny to watch these two kids try to, reprise the role rather than like, this is kind of pathetic. Like, they're like too old to be doing this shit kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know what? I think that movie is going to age like wine, maybe. It's just like the fact that it's like, it was hard to handle watching them in the same shitty apartment from the original movie.
They put it in the second one?
It made it look exactly the same, like nothing happened. You know?
Maybe I'll watch it one day if it's free on something. I never go out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, living with dudes, not that bad. I don't know.
Anyways, who is like the most influential comic to you growing up?
Growing up? Dude, alright, so I'd say in 6th grade, I didn't know stand-up growing up per se, like young, like everything before 8th grade, I'd say, like, it's just, you walk by a TV, see someone on whatever. Don't know one from another.
Right.
The first comic I probably ever, like, YouTubed, product of the time is Dane Cook. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just the way it is.
Really?
Who didn't like the Kool-Aid shit, creepy guy at work, all that shit.
Dane Cook, he was definitely, like, influential to me, like, in high school.
I'm not saying I'm saying like, who did I... If you want to know influence me, it's completely different. I'm just saying, he was the first.
I just saw him at the arena, man, the Mohegan Sun Arena. And, I don't know, have you watched like any of his, like, recent stuff?
The last one I saw was when it says in the beginning he dropped into a club and he's in a circle.
Right.
It's very small and intimate. And I liked it at the time, but I haven't seen him in a long time.
I've heard that one was good.
I also have rewatched a lot of his stuff I used to like, and it's hard to watch.
Right.
But that's just my personal opinion.
All right, so there's two things I'd like to mention about him. And it was... the Madison Square Garden, like, going back and listening to that, it's probably one of the worst.
I can't do it.
Comedy albums, just because it's like this is like what you're bringing to the table for Madison Square Garden. Dude, I'd honestly rather him just do old stuff at Madison Square Garden.
So I remember watching that on TV with people. This is before I was into stand-up. Oh, I'd say right after that, Cat Williams. Immediately after that.
You know something? Like, I don't know. It's just something about Dane Cook where it was like, back when, like, did you ever watch, like, the stuff they animated that he did?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are the ones I like.
And, like, what was the name of it? Shorties Watching Shorties? You remember that?
No.
I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube, though, where they did the Kool-Aid Man bit. They did,
Creepy
like, the creepy guy at work.
Those are my two favorite bits by him. And the Burger King one, probably.
But animated, like, brought to life, you're like, holy shit. Like, this is, like, some good fucking comedy.
Yeah, so I like that, but even a minute ago we were talking about... When I saw it with friends who didn't know anything about comedy, weren't into it at the time like that, we started watching one of those on, like, Comedy Central, the Vicious Circle one. It was just on replay. And I remember, like, we watched, like, 20 minutes just because there's nothing on, and a few of my friends, like, laughed when they thought they were supposed to laugh, and I was like, why'd you laugh? And they're like, I don't know. And it was weird. Like, no one genuinely laughed. We were confused by it, and we just turned it off. And I swore him off, basically, from that point. But now after hearing all the shit that happened to him and whatever, like, I don't know. I hope he can do whatever he's doing. I'm just not, invested like I used to be. After that, it was like Cat Williams and then like Jim Jeffries and Bill Burr. And now it's like still Bill Burr and Jim and shit, but like Tom Segura is probably my favorite comedian.
Segura?
Yeah, now.
Right now, I would say, now.
All of them. Because it's like, well, I also am a big fan of Your Mom's House and shit too. So that, if you like Tom Segura's stand-up, you're he's already great, but if you like him on
his
top
podcast
of that,
is really good. Is that his podcast?
Yeah, him and his wife, they do just riff on shit videos they find, It is so fucking funny. It's like, I love it. And I used to fucking work in factories and shit and listen to that, and they were the worst jobs, and it didn't care when I was listening to that. So Tom Segura is number one.
To me, it just sounds too much like they're like a modern day honeymooners. Though.
Nah, dude, they're not a comedy couple that like annoys you. They're both mad funny. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
I never said the honeymooners annoyed me.
No, it's not. They don't. The honeymooners didn't have the internet though. They just sit in chairs and talk shit.
Dude, that's all the honeymooners did.
And then, dude, the person who probably got me into doing stand-up, like, stand-up wise, was besides watching Bill Burr and being like, oh, this guy just sees shit he hates and talks about it. Like, that's kind of what I do with my friend.
Yeah.
But was Rogan and Christina Bajitsky, again, with Tom Segura, but they were talking about on Joe Rogan's podcast a while back. I didn't know comedians wrote jokes. I thought they were just gifted. And then Christina Bajitsky was talking to Joe Rogan about how she would write jokes. And he's like, yeah. And then it's like, I then figured out they all had acts. So then I started writing jokes. And that's basically where, I mean, besides, the real life influences of like, people I worked with.
Keeping it new, keeping it fresh all the time. You have to be something of a writer to do it.
Yeah.
You can't just you know what I mean?
I'd always wanted to write for TV or movies, but I don't, I've written a script, I just don't know what to do with it because I'm not a part of that world.
I'm right there. I do scripts,
Yeah, but when I figured out you could write your shit for stand-up, so I started writing it, and then I started going out, and I was like, oh, I actually like doing this, so I'll keep doing it. It's still writing to me, so. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fucking A.
There's a lot of other shit, too, if you have any other questions. It's just, you asked about the influences comedically. That's pretty much the lot of them.
You know what I think about you when I watch your act is, like, you seem like you're the type of comic where it's like you point out things that like straight up annoy you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I feel like you've barely scratched the surface. Like I want to hear what's like really on your mind like at that moment. You know what I mean? At least for the first half, and then you go back to the classics.
All right, I'll give you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I work on riff. I don't know where to start, dude. Like, I try to fucking, I don't know. I don't know what to do, to be honest, when it comes to, like, I think I have a good bit, and then you'll say shit like that, and I'm like, oh, no. So, I don't know what to do. I'll figure it out. I feel like, I don't know, if anyone has notes, I'm always open to them. It's just whenever someone's like, I feel like you could do more, I'm like, I mean, give me a hint and I'll work on it. But I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, it's all about inspiration too, man. Like,
yeah,
where do you look for it? What do you think,
dude? I don't know.
Because I don't know myself.
I just will be talking to someone and they'll be like, "That's kind of funny," and then I'll just take that idea and like riff it out in my like privacy or whatever.
Right?
Yes. That's pretty much it, man. Just like if I'm out and something annoys me, I'll just think about like how I can make fun of it, and if I'm like that works for a crowd. Sometimes it doesn't. Like shit, I'll come up with. I'll think this will work, and then it doesn't. I don't know.
What do you think the funniest shit going on right now is?
What do you mean?
Just the funniest shit. Like, can you find like what do you think is like Chris? Like, do you have a Christmas joke that you have like in the back of your? No,
definitely not.
There's nothing written in any of your notebooks
about Christmas specifically. No,
shitting on it or anything. No.
Nah. Oh, maybe like it. I used to talk about how. It was something like Root. Oh, it's like Rudolph I don't know. The Rudolph song makes me aggravated. Like, do you recall the most famous reindeer? Of course you fucking do. It's Rudolph. It's the only reindeer with super. Anyway, I don't know. The only reindeer that can fucking do all this other shit.
It's because he's the only one worth, like, telling
Remembering?
a story about?
Yeah, he's
like,
the only one who's fucking has a story.
Yeah. You think dancers got
like, do you know this one and this one? No, we don't know them. We know the one with the fucking red nose, dude. The red nose who saved everyone. Of course we recall.
I think Donner...
That's it. That's really the... And that's not...
Donner has, like, he's got, like, a sleazy manager that's, like, working with him, though, I bet.
What do you mean?
Donner, you know? There's probably some guy in his life that's just
Is this what you're talking about digging deeper? Alright.
You know, it's all
if I don't
about,
say something, I'm
like,
right.
he's like, Donner, it's all about repackaging, remonetizing, repackaging. You know, you just gotta put it out there, Donner. I don't know.
Also, if you're talking about scratching the surface, I've seen you do plenty of sets where I'm like, what are you talking about? Fuck you. I feel like if I didn't say that, whoever's listening would be like, what the fuck is Selly doing right now? It's fucking Matt Heath he's talking to. I scratched the fucking surface, Matt. You think people watch Toy Story and think about what I think about? Anyone who's seen my act should get that shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm saying you're going places.
Oh, thanks, man. No, I appreciate. No, dude, I know what you mean though. Like, I have fuck. What's the? Hold on 1 second. Let me just. I don't want to be dead air. I just can't recall the exact thing because I want to give an exact. Because I know what you're talking about.
What's on your mind, man? Fucking A.
Like, I'm trying to think of a bit I have where I'm like, dude, I have a bit. I don't know if you ever heard it about ghosts. How I just don't believe in them, and I give reasons why. And I've only come up with like 2 or 3 reasons, and I obviously keep doing them, trying to, make them funnier or try different variations of them. But yeah, you're right. I'm like, I could figure out different ones. I'm just lazy. I just do that shit. I think a lot of people who are newer, specifically too. It's not that we're lazy. It's just like coming up with shit isn't it's just coming up with shit is fucking annoying.
Because I think the audience is gonna want to hear it too. What is the ghost joke?
It's like I don't want to ruin it for everyone. It's like I don't know. Like
come on, we can.
I'll give you. I'm not gonna
dissect one joke.
All right, it's like I don't believe in ghosts. Well, not even that. I'd say I don't believe in ghosts because first of all, there's only white ghosts. This shit doesn't make sense. That's one of them. I then explained there's no new ghosts. I use Helen Keller like I always do. Like enough famous people have died. It's not like you go to Helen Keller's house and listen to her ghost bump into walls and shit like that. And then I talk about there's no gay ghosts. It's those 3 every time usually. There's thousands of fucking variations of how I could not pick those 3, but I always choose those 3. And I never sit down and I'm like, I could write different tags for this and different that, but I'm just lazy. And I think it's a lot of people, like, it happens with other I don't want to name comics it happens with all the comics I know. We all get comfortable doing our sets with what works, even if we do it in front of the same comedians all the time. So if what works, you don't want to really change it. That's what a lot of the shit is. So I know what you mean when you're saying like dig deeper. A lot of the times I think like, oh, this works already, but of course everything can change. Everything I have to get better no matter what. I think
hey man, I gotta dig.
We all have to get better. I think anyone who's listening to this, does stand up with us, needs to get better at stand up. All this shit. If you take it seriously.
Yeah.
Also have fun, too. A lot of people aren't having fun lately.
That's the other thing about you, man. You're too hard on yourself.
I'm very hard on myself. Well, I also think, I know you listen to other podcasts, real comedians. A lot of the best comedians are very hard on themselves. I'm not saying I'm trying to be legit, so of course I'm,
It's true.
I want to be up there one day. You're lying if you don't.
Yep.
I'm not saying I want to be Rogan or Attell, but I want to be fucking me. One of those positions.
You were checking out the movie collection. You're borrowing Deer Hunter, dude. You've never seen Deer Hunter.
I've seen so many good. Like movies, thousands. Like ones
What's your go-to? Because you picked, one with De Niro. What's like your
Oh.
favorite? What's your favorite like mob movie?
Oh well, my favorite movie number one's The Departed. All
Really?
time. Yeah, favorite movie of all time.
That's up there, man.
Dude,
I honestly like because I honestly see it like it's a trifecta now. Like you got Godfather like at the top of the pyramid, then you got Goodfellas in one corner, and you got The Departed in the other.
Oh, okay, well,
you know what I mean?
I would argue, I Departed is my favorite movie. I would argue that trifecta is Scarface in the corner instead of The Departed.
Yeah, but Scarface, it's not.
I'm not.
Just watching an Italian guy try to be a Cuban.
Okay,
that, it's more of a comedy. Than
I'll
anything.
give you that. No, I'm not saying Scarface is. Not that I don't like Scarface. I understand it's a ridiculous movie. However, if you take everything it influenced, like there's a whole fucking GTA game on it, like Vice City story. It's Vice City or Vice City, whatever one Ray Liotta plays the fucking guy in. It's like all the shit that came from Scarface is pretty interesting. Also, I do the like Godfather and Scarface are both, one's about the individual, one's about the family. You could, if you haven't seen them, fucking watch those. Figure out which one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and Goodfellas is just super realistic and awesome to watch. Like,
but Pacino is up there with the acting game, man. Like, do you watch like any like his movies? Like, you seen that one he did with Robin Williams called Insomnia? Or
I didn't even finish it, dude.
Dude, did you keep falling asleep?
No, once I found out that you found out who the killer was right away, I was like, I'm not watching this.
Every time I try watching it, I would fall asleep because it was like, Pacino is like, I'm just trying to stay awake, like this whole fucking movie, and it's like, it's kind of making me tired.
Did you see The Irishman?
Yeah, The Irishman, did you like it?
I did, and the only thing, and I said it it's like, the only problem I have with it is they should have just used younger people instead of the age thing. Like, I get it, you want to do the movie with them. It's just, it's so hard to watch them move in certain scenes. You're like, that is not supposed to, like, it's clearly 70-year-old De Niro playing 30-year-old Irishman. But it kicked ass, dude. That movie fucking, I loved it, dude.
You know what? I just, I think I was able to suspend my disbelief because it was like, I guess he could have kids at that age, you know?
Not even that, just the way he moves in scenes, dude. It's just weird.
What, you think De Niro's just trying a little too hard?
No, like, if you watch the movie, he's old. He's old, and when they show him playing, they age him down, and he's playing a 30-year-old.
What, you think they digitally went in and tried to make him look like young De Niro, or what?
They did. If you watched, I mean, you should know this. You've seen the fucking movie. You know they're de-aged. How'd you think they got?
I've watched so many De Niro movies where I'm just like, all right, I'm buying it.
I'm a fan. Dude, I love the movie. It was
the mole's there. It must be De Niro.
There was just certain things in the movie I was like, oh, they should have just used young actors like they did in The Godfather Part 2. Perfect example of that.
Right.
They showed the young. They didn't make Marlon Brando young. I mean, they couldn't back then, but still.
Part 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Marlon Brando is Robert De Niro in that movie. His character.
Yeah, Robert De Niro was the young Godfather. But it was like, but you thought they didn't use anything back then, or like,
no, dude, I'm saying like all right, no, they did. Once Upon a Time in America, when it jumps, right. Robert De Niro was old. I'm a fan, like I said, but there weren't movies that when someone was younger in a movie, usually it's just a younger actor,
right?
Usually.
You know what? I don't know. See, the thing to me is De Niro's such a good actor that it's like I want to watch him throughout the whole movie.
I'm not exactly.
I don't want it to be thrown back to some fucking young guy like I said, trying to be De Niro.
Well, like I said, the aging, just the fact that you can tell he's 70 when he's 30, it just still bothers me. Not that he facially still looks young, but when he's walking, when he moves, like. When he beats the guy up in the beginning in the grocery store, you can tell he's like old.
Yeah. You know, there's this comic out there, Jessica Curson.
Oh, you see her new special?
I haven't watched. You know what? I've never watched the special. I'm only listening to her on a podcast. But she was talking.
She's awesome on podcasts.
Have you ever seen the movie The Comedians with De Niro?
No,
I haven't either.
Yeah.
But she was talking about how she was like basically his voice in the movie The Comedians. Because she was like this seasoned New York comic, and De Niro just like discovered her at like this club, or I don't know. So I guess he was just at a club, but he basically like hired her to come aboard the movie and make everything go right.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah, no, I didn't know it. She kicks ass. I watched her special and everything. Because she's my type of comedian. I realized I watched that, Patrice O'Neal and Elephant in the Room, and then Jessica Kirsten's Talking to Myself. And then I watched Schlesinger's new special with a chick, and I died during Jessica Kirsten. I'm not shitting on Schlesinger. She has some jokes I like, but it was like, I figured out it's just the type of humor I like will always be like more offensive and like fucked up.
Really?
Like yeah, of course, dude. My kind of humor. I was telling someone this the other day. Like that made me realize that it's like type of humor I like is when you might not even agree with the comedian, but you're like, that's a fucking wild thought. Like I want to like that's wild. Like how do you come up with that shit? Like
yeah.
I don't agree. Like I don't agree with fucking half the shit.
I said this expression earlier today, but it was when we were talking about losing Denver's podcast. Actually, I was like, you can only capture lightning in a bottle once. Where it's like that's true. Like where it's like it's like when you have a profound thought, it's almost like that's the best fuel for making jokes. And I think that's what you were like trying to hit on there, right?
Sort of. It's more like I don't understand when people are like I understand if you are a business owner, you're running an event, you want safe comedy. That makes sense. But for regular people, like ordinary people, to be like my favorite type of comedy is safe comedy, I think you're lying. You're a liar because most of the funniest bits anyone's ever done are jokes
what kind of like leftist like nonsense is that? Like who does that?
Enough people. Enough. You know.
I think that's very speculative. Like,
I'm just saying, no, dude. Because
like
I don't know if I haven't had anyone openly come up to me after a show and like complain, but I've definitely had people in the audience who are like, he shouldn't be talking about shit like this, and it's like, it's joke first of all. Second of all, like I'm coming at everything I make fun of at a weird angle. Like I'm not gonna.
No, you're right.
It's always supposed. I don't know. It's supposed to be absurd. People act like comedy was never absurd.
Right.
They're like
comedy
you believe
is definitely a
everything
thing that's made for
having fun.
Adults. You're selling it to adults. It's not like it's like a kindergarten class is gonna come in, but people do often like bring in their kid. Do you feel like the need to tone it down if like
if someone brings a kid, I tell them you don't want to be on. You don't. I either tell the host like I'm not comfortable with them having a kid, and if they're like too bad, I'm leaving. I'm not doing. First of all, the kid's not gonna get it. Second of all, I'm not clean, so I'm not gonna.
Wow. Yeah. You won't. So you refuse to clean it up for
right now? Yeah, for a fucking kid at a bar show. Yeah,
well,
a fucking kid. You shouldn't bring your kid to a comedy show.
That's the best time to just like riff and like do some crowd work, though.
I guess, man. I like swear. Real life isn't clean, any part of it, realistically. So I fucking I'm not saying when kids are around, I'm swearing up a storm in general. It's just like off stage. It's just it's just not a place to bring a kid. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think you should. I think it's all on the parent at that point. I've had I had a host at Vermont Comedy Club who saw me at a different mic come up to me at the mic and was like, "Hey, are you doing a lot of that material you've been doing at mics?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, I'm going to tell this lady who brought her kid to leave during her set. He knew. It's like, all right, you get it. Like, shouldn't even be here with her fucking kid. I mean, it's Burlington, Vermont. They probably don't think I'm there. But I was. I fucking killed it. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, I usually I don't brag, but I did.
Honestly, though, that's like the first time I've really heard that take from somebody that, like, they, it's like, nah, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
No, yeah, I will do it.
Or it's like you come to like an ultimatum every time you come across that with kids.
Well,
kids
yeah,
being
dude, why are they here? I also don't, because you're, like, dude, if there's kids around, there's certain, like, that's the actual time you can't bring up certain subjects. Like, you really can't. Like, even if you can't talk about sex in front of a fucking kid. Like, you don't know that kid. You don't know what his parents are. You can't talk about religion. This kid's going to be like, what, Dad, he's talking about, like, who the fuck's Buddha? And, like, some conservative dude doesn't want to explain that shit. Whatever.
I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. But it's like, you know what? It's like that you have the foresight to be like, I'm thinking about, like, the kid's future.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It's like to know that about yourself, to be like, what I do out there, is like solely what I do out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's at least you have the foresight to be like, yeah, I'm like, I know that about myself. You know what I mean? Because, like, other people could be, like, reckless about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, I want to have clean material, but I also want it to be on my terms, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want... who has really good clean... Like, John Mulaney has really good clean material. Right. I genuinely like his fucking stand-up.
Right.
But I don't know, I'm just not as nice as him. I don't think, like, in any way. Like, nice stand-up-wise, or, obviously, or, as a person. Like, he just seems like a nicer guy. I just don't... I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, though. Because I think with time, I'll be able to weigh I'll be able to figure this shit out.
Why do you think your comedy's angry?
Yeah, definitely. I try to smile during my set so people don't think I'm being serious. I'm dead serious.
You know what's crazy though? You're right though. Comedy does come from anger most of the time.
Tell it pain.
Like, yeah. You gotta be living in it to, like, write comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I wrote most of my material when I was at, like, very just low points in my life, like shitty jobs, no pussy, shit like that. For real though, like that, or just really dumb shit, dude. Like people getting kicked out of school, shit like that.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I just try to fucking breakups. I don't know. I just try to make anything that annoys me, dude. That's really what pops in. I don't have like, just shit that I think's fun. Like, if you look at it this way, it's funny. That a different way. Like, that's like, don't give it out on here because I'm still working on it. I like it. Is my Toy Story bit. I'm really proud of that one.
All right, see, that's one of your main. People come out to see this fucking Toy Story bit.
Yeah, I know.
This guy that does not want to perform in front of children.
Maybe 2 minutes long. I could do that joke. Not even that one I couldn't do. For kids, would be like, the fuck it. He is a bad kid.
Because if you started that, even the setup would be like, yeah. So you guys remember the bad guy? I'm just gonna do the first line. You guys remember the bad guy from Toy Story? They'll be like, yeah, you seen Wreck-It Ralph, and it would just be an immediate conversation.
Yeah, we just start talking about when's Bugs Life 2 coming out, motherfucker? For real though.
How do you feel about the whole Disney Plus situation?
Cliff. Talking about Cliff Mula, his brother had Disney Plus and then didn't renew their subscription, so I haven't seen Mandalorian second half, dude. I don't know what's going on. I liked the Mandalorian. Other than that, dude, that shit was whack. Gargoyles is up there, cool.
You know what?
Other than that, dude, it's just cartoons. Adults shouldn't have.
They only have like one original program, which is Star Wars.
They're coming out with
more. Or it's like, well, what's the point of paying the $8 a month when it's like you're only gonna release one episode a month?
Dude,
might as well just pay the $8 a year from now once.
Dude, they're gonna trick you, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, dude. Whenever they get a full Mandalorian, a full whatever, it's gonna be like Netflix. Like Netflix got more content. Their price has doubled since they've started. Makes sense. It's gonna happen with Disney. All of them are gonna do that, and then they're all gonna get bitched at, and they're gonna go back down. It's how it works. They're gonna do deals.
They're gonna get to the point where they're gonna start charging for the new shit, and they're gonna give you the old shit for free.
Dude, it's the fact that everyone's. I mean, I think Disney attacked everyone with memes too. The whole meme thing made everyone want to get Disney Plus.
So you think this like comes from Disney? Like it's not just like fans.
No, not at all.
You know, making these.
Dude. I don't think so. It's too. Dude, if you got Disney Plus yet and you're a Disney fan, you already have the fucking movies. You don't need Disney. Disney Plus, whatever. I'm not trying to review it. It's fun,
but I want to hear more about the like. You like think it's like how like the Russians.
Yeah, I do actually. I definitely do.
You think Disney's
just
doing
none of those memes? Yeah, dude. Yoda meme. Come on, dude. They've been the since the cat meme.
But it's almost like the meme is
the
more
cat and the lady.
Whatever the actual character is.
It is, dude. It is. They're using the internet to stay relevant and make people talk about it. I'm dead serious. Not like they're doing whatever, dude. I don't know who.
But it's money, dude. But it's almost like
it's legit. Right. I think it's legit. I haven't heard this anywhere. By the way, this is just me seeing.
Me saying something speculative, but like. Imagine if like it was like an internet algorithm that figured out what people just wanted to see the most.
Yeah,
and it was like Baby Yoda.
Yep, Baby Yoda like, is a big fucking thing, dude. I see different variations of that meme. That shit's gonna be. That is going to take over inevitably, unless that cat and girl meme. That cat and girl meme is one of the top memes of all time, right at this point.
The cat and girl,
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Honestly, is that a Cameron Diaz in the photo?
No, it's from some reality show, and I don't know what the cat's from.
Well, I think they're maybe both from the reality show.
The variations of it are crazy funny, but it's just out of control.
It's a funny meme.
But, yeah, dude, I think Disney Plus is just... they clickbaited themselves into top streaming.
But in reality, it's all the same shit there ever was, man.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no real... Dude, the only thing they're giving you is nostalgia in an app. It's just... Oh, dude, I started watching Gargoyles again. It's fucking... I'm 27. I'm gonna kill myself. Fucking kidding me? I started watching Gargoyles again, dude.
Dude... You know something though? I like having it the Disney Plus playing in the store I work at. You know, for like just people coming in because it's honestly.
Oh yeah, man! I'm not
like a more
Dude, once Cliff's bum-ass brother reactivates the account, I'm watching more shit. It's like I like watching TV.
Netflix, Amazon. If you play that like for like you always got to be worried about something. Now they got a new trifecta. Fucking. You got Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't care, dude. I just want to watch dope shit.
You seem like you're the type of guy that wishes like video stores still existed.
Oh hell yeah!
Just so you can bullshit with a guy,
dude,
in there.
I was one, dude. I know I'm 27, but when I was younger, we saw Hollywood Video. Right. And I lived in Middletown, so that shit was. I lived within a mile from it, so it also had this thing where it was like MVP, where it was just, their membership shit, whereas like if you got 3 movies, you could exchange those 3 movies as much as you wanted. Like you could bring one movie back, exchange it, and that was just how you did it.
It was like even like a swap shop.
Yeah, dude, I ran through the store basically. Like that's how I've seen so many movies. And I knew the staff, dude. I went there because I was there when I was like 10 through 12.
Yeah.
10 to 13.
Take me back then. You go in there. What's your go-to grab on the shelf?
Like always action, like someone getting blown up.
Fucking
Arnold
like
Schwarzenegger
or
shit.
Stallone. Like,
Yeah, any of that. Like my thing was, so well, I'll bring it up to that. I would always go there, and for a while, my dad would take me and get rated R movies with me. But when I'd go on my own, they'd always be like, "You can't get this," and I'm like, ugh. My dad went down there and like talked to the staff and was like, "Can you guys just like he's good? I can't bring him here all the time." And they're like, "Fine." They had like a thing in the computer next to me that was like he's allowed without his parents. It's not even a thing. I went there like any new staff, I'd be like, "I'm here," and they're like, "You can't get this," and I'd be like, "Look me up," or I'd be like to someone on the other side of the store. Right. I swear to God, like to someone on the other side of the store, or like on another booth, like because it was split.
Yeah,
I remember this shit. And I'd be like, F, because I knew this chick named F there. I'd be like, F, tell him. And she'd be like, yeah, he's good, and like let me go. I was on a first name basis with most of the staff, and I'd come in and I'd be like, what's new? What should I see? Like with people getting shot in it. And another big thing for me was like, I want to see a movie where the bad guy, like the final boss, dies cool. Like I always liked that. Like they had to die epic. Like I hated when bad guys in movies would just. Now it doesn't bother me, but when a bad guy in a movie would just get shot, I'd be like, "Fuck this shit." Like
Why? What was like the epic?
Let me give you a perfect example of this. You seen Die Hard? Right. Live Free or Die Hard. All right. This is why I hate this fucking. That movie's dope up until he kills Timothy Olyphant. Right. Because throughout the movie, there's like the chick. So there's 3 bad guys in that movie. The chick, the mercenary, Timothy Olyphant. The chick, John McClane knocks down an elevator shaft in a car. Right. She blows up. That's brutal. The bad guy, he knocks into a freezing fan. Brutal. Timothy Olyphant, he shoots in the chest. That's it. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, it's just no payoff. Like, it's leading up to nothing. Like, he shoots him. He doesn't even shoot him like that. He shoots him through his shoulder into the guy and back of him. It's so fucking lame. It's no payoff. Why? It's like leading. What's the fucking? It's like the first 2 Batman movies. Like Batman Begins, dope. Batman Dark Knight. This fucking rules. Third one. What the fuck's going on?
No. I totally.
Okay.
See where you're coming.
You're looking at me. No one can see this. You're looking at me like I'm nut.
No, I've seen Die Hard and I've seen Live Free or Die Hard, but I was taking when I saw Live Free or Die Hard, I was taking this chick on a date to see it, and we listened to the Return of Bruno on a tape I had in the fucking car.
What's Return of Bruno?
Bruce Willis's
the
album from back in the 80s, and I played that for her, took her on a date. Played it on the way back, and then I just remember we had some pretty good sex.
Oh, good.
So
I don't want to think about that at all.
Anyways, but back to what you were saying about the gruesome deaths in movies being like
bad guys, specifically, like when they kill
honestly, one time when I was teaching, it was actually after I got laid off as a teacher. You know, I had a few weeks to like still be in the school and teach. I was like, whatever, I'm laid off. I'll just turn this place into a movie theater. Just throw it. All 3 Indiana Jones movies were on Amazon at the time. And I don't know. These Haitian kids, man, I don't know what it was about Harrison Ford and the whip and they fucking loved it, man.
Dude, all good bad guy deaths.
But honestly, when they throw the Nazi through a propeller, like when he throws the Nazi through the propeller in that one scene, and I'm like, and all I'm thinking is like, you can't, like, there's not a book I can show that's gonna drill that into their heads better than that Nazis.
Bare skin getting
you know what I mean?
You don't see it, but the image and the noise is like, ugh. That's PG or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
The best bad guy death in those 3 movies is the second one when the guy gets eaten by all the crocodiles.
Oh, yeah.
Not only he falls, like hits the side of the rocks on the way down.
You seem like the type of guy that would know this bit of information.
What?
In that, like, all the Indiana Jones movies, all the Star Wars movies, like, it's mainly, like, sci-fi, but a lot of, like, action movies.
Yeah.
There's one scream that was, like,
Ow!
and it was, like, recorded in, like, 1947. It's called the Wilhelm scream.
He gets hit with an arrow.
Yeah.
Ow! Yeah, that always happens. Whenever I hear that anywhere, I'm like, fuck! Since I was little, that's what's
and
in
you're
my
like, that's
memory.
the scream, like the movie scream. You're like
every time I hear that.
right?
Yeah, that's in a lot of those movies. You're right. Everyone, like, when someone falls, that shit always happens.
And I can remember specifically,
he's
like,
getting
in
ripped
Star
apart.
Wars,
That happens.
Yeah. Isn't that scene?
It's getting ripped apart by the alligators, and you hear, ow! This is funny.
Yo, the Wilhelm scream is something else. Because I remember specifically in Star Wars, like a stormtrooper goes,
falls.
You're like in the fucking
it's a New Hope.
In the what's the name of the pit? Like the
Jabba.
It was wherever Jabba the Hutt was. When on like that boat kind of thing.
Dork,
and it was, fucking A. It was, but I remember that scream being in it, man. Fucking A.
Yeah, man. I don't You excited for the new Star Wars or no? I could really give a shit.
I honestly, like, it's like I'm not, like, invested in it like when I was like a kid, you know? But now I feel like, you know, like, if they're still making them, I'll still give it a watch, you know?
Yeah. No, me too, dude. I just hated the last one so much.
Yeah? Why did you hate the last one?
Dude, there was so much, like, I understand I don't do movies, I've never direct, whatever, like, and the internet is cruel, but the amount of plot holes and dumb shit people did in that movie is astounding. And it also did a lot of shit to the characters that made, like, Leia flying in space, they made Luke lame.
You know what's funny about the Leia flying in space? Like, I didn't really get that feeling so much in Star Wars, but when I saw it in the movie Titan AE as a kid, I remember my brother was so fucking into this movie, and the part where they're just like holding their breath out, I'm like,
you would freeze.
Wouldn't you just like freeze and die?
Yeah,
or
like swimming,
you just like
you
explode, or like
your eyelids would freeze.
Wouldn't something fucking happen to you when you're just out in space like that?
Wait, what was the movie? Yeah, that didn't bother me either, dude. It was also just all right, Finn and the Asian chick running off. Nothing to do with the movie. Like, that is one of the biggest things. I didn't even realize that the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it, I left. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I liked it. And then someone just pointed that out. It was like, dude, that part of the movie doesn't matter. Like, there's no... And I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, horrible. I can't watch it. And also, the biggest thing, too, problem I had with The Force Awakens, it's just they repackaged so much of the older ones. Like, the final scene is just the Hoth scene from the beginning of Empire.
But it's weird because it's like they're still making that mistake with the movies, because when they did the original, like they did the new Jungle Book, and it was different than the original Jungle Book. I liked it, but then when they redid the Lion King, I'm like,
I didn't want.
Why are you gonna?
So bad.
Why are you gonna just like? It's like them trying to be like the first one so much made it kind of like static and like not like you know what I mean?
I've seen a lot of children's movies. I used to, in the past like year and a half, I used to have this job with a kid who was autistic, and he would want to go to movies all the time. So I saw like Dumbo, Aladdin. They were all shit. And I saw the Jungle Book too, but it wasn't... That one I liked. Jon Favreau, I'm pretty sure that's why. But the other new remakes are all shit. I hate them. I hate them so much. I won't watch the Lion King one. To be honest, I don't even really like the Lion King. That's super unpopular, I'm sure. And probably no one, if they've gotten this far in the episode, will like me past that point. But I don't. I hate that.
But you have seen all 4 Toy Stories.
Yes. Love Toy Story. I love Toy Story, dude. Dude, the thing with the Lion King, honestly, fuck the Lion King. The Lion King, it's just fucking, I don't know, man. I don't find it funny. The songs or whatever. The story, yeah, it's cool. It's well animated, but the amount of just bullshit people like about it, like, I don't know.
It's
I think
Hamlet,
people just
dude.
like. I think people
It's
just
Hamlet with lions. Like
that they saw
that?
when they were younger. I don't think they actually really love that fucking movie. I don't know. That shit. I don't know. Aladdin's better. Mulan's better. Fuck off.
I don't know. Lion King is actually.
I had no real rant.
You
for that.
insulted me, sir,
I'm a
because
little too big for
it's
this
the number one Disney movie.
dude, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like something about the Lion King, just the amount of shit people talk about it, and it's probably I'm not a contrarian. It's just when people just like something just to like it, I feel like have no real reasons besides they saw it when they were younger and liked it.
Oh, really? Okay,
I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just hating on the Lion King, probably.
You know something? It's probably because you're not big into. You don't seem like a guy who's like big into musical theater.
Oh,
and
no.
That has a lot to do with Lion King, I think.
It's got a good song. I don't know, man.
You're that kid if they played it in school, you're like, fuck.
Oh, dude, I don't know what it is. It's
big fan.
maybe I watched it too many times too, dude. I watched it a bunch when I was younger, and just that shit. Ugh.
I didn't mean that, Nathan Lane. I actually forget. I'm a big fan of his work.
I also watched when I was younger. I didn't watch a lot of Disney movies. I watched Jurassic Park like when I was young, and that was my shit. And Toy Story, obviously Toy Story. But fucking
Story.
Like for cartoon wise, I never was huge into Disney until a little later. Even Pixar was before Disney for me.
All right.
Like I didn't have them.
Let's end this with what was your favorite cartoon? Because we've been on this fucking topic for a while. I don't know why.
Batman Beyond, dude, #1 of all time.
All right, I can see that.
I'll fucking watch that shit.
Do you think that I read online, and I don't know if these are real articles I'm reading where they like Kevin Smith wants to make the movie and he wants Michael Keaton
to be Batman, old Batman,
as old Batman. Do you think any of that's true?
Part of me wants it to, but no, because it would have been more official by now. Yeah. But if it is, that's
I don't know. But Kevin Smith seems like he's a guy who's got a lot of irons in the fire. Like,
yeah, I feel like he would be more adamant about it too. He's very vocal about his projects. So. But
I don't know. It's almost like Hollywood, I feel like, kind of keeps him in his corner, doing his own shit.
He does. I want to see that third Jay and Silent Bob when it comes out too.
It looks good.
But dude, like Batman Beyond, I was always a fan of Batman, and to me, when that shit came out, that was my Batman at the time. I was like, oh, this is a new Batman. Like we already had, everyone knows who fucking Bruce Wayne is. Obviously, I'm a fan. In the animated series and all that. So when that shit ended and Batman Beyond came out, I was almost like, I'm ready for a new Bat. Like, this is going to be awesome. And then when it's still, I think everyone still likes that shit. You watch it still, dude, he kills people in it. He murders bad guys. Like, not even, like, accidentally. Like, he kills them himself.
It all comes back to violence.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Before we go, I do want to ask you to see the Joker. Did you saw the Joker movie?
Dude.
What did you think of that?
Loved it. Think it's gonna if you're one of those people too who was like, I thought it was too dark and I don't see how it was like relatable to the comics. You don't understand how his origin story actually works, and you're a fucking idiot. You don't know how to watch movies. I'm not even gonna. If we're wrapping it up, I don't.
You're right. Because that's how in the comic books it went. He was a failed stand-up comedian, but dude, it's a little bit different. But
no, it is different in the comics. But the thing in the comics, his version of events always changes. And if you know how to watch that movie, if you caught the hints they drop in that movie, and there's. I can name, if you want to go into it, I can name them.
You know something?
There are so many hints.
Because the way the movie leaves it, it's like how much of his life was actually alive.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, not only that, there's so much. Dude, how much, first of all, if you watch, spoiler, the end of the movie, he finds out. Don't listen to this if you haven't seen the fucking Joker. At the end of the movie, you find out he's talking to what appears to be a psychologist in a mental institution about what seems to be the chain of events that followed. However, the beginning of the movie, the second scene you see him in when he's talking, or third scene when he's talking to his therapist, that's just a variation of the therapist you're seeing at the end.
I can see why some people might not like that, because that could have been potentially, if you're like a romantic type person, like that he falls in love with the therapist, and there you're with he's with Harley Quinn.
Maybe that I wouldn't. That's definitely not Harley Quinn, but come on, Harley Quinn's white.
No, but I liked it because it was it was insanity, but it was grounded in reality.
Yeah, well,
it was everything.
The biggest thing, dude,
it was genius.
The biggest thing, if you
Maybe
know,
that's a little too far to say that it was genius.
I think it is, dude, because if you know how the Joker operates, there's so much doubt in that movie surrounding just things he does. You don't even think about. Like, all right, we do stand-up. Right. You and I. Anyone who listens to this says stand-up. If you've seen the Joker movie, you know there's a part of the movie where he goes on stage and does stand-up for a real crowd. How's he get on that show? They don't say it's... I'm not saying... this is a real stand-up thing, but, like, they don't say it's a bringer. It looks like a real show that he's on. Who in their right mind puts him on a show in any... You know what I mean? Sam Morril goes up before him. It's a real show.
But the way it lent it to be was like that he's already got this gang of clowns. It could be like...
Right, okay. Okay, that's my point. Know? They never explain, though, how he gets into the club to do stand-up. When he shows up to that rally and then a riot starts out, it starts out of almost... seemingly inconvenience for him to sneak around like 2 police at a barricade to go to a back door to a theater to then all of a sudden show up in an usher uniform that you never see him get. Don't forget about the girlfriend you never see him with. Like, there's so much in that movie, I can keep going, that there's doubt as to what is actually going on. And then when you find out he's probably telling these events to a therapist at the end, almost the entire movie is not, is he lying? How much of these events are his point of view, just him being insane thinking about it? Like, these events, per se, might not even all take place at the same time that they do in the movie, if that makes sense. Like, you know...
The whole part with the chick and, like, you don't know if he kills the girl in the other room, do you?
Which one?
And
the Zeta Beats?
The woman that's supposedly his love interest, and then it turns out...
No. How would he... First of all, maybe. But why would he? At that point in the movie, why would he have killed her? There's no reason. She didn't do anything mean to him. She just... She could have.
But at the same time,
I kind of hope he did, honestly, because that's a Joker move.
If he's that crazy that he would imagine her being with him, and then it wasn't like a real thought in his mind, that's the next.
I hope he did
step in, like, I think his psychosis or whatever it is he's got.
Dude, there was a part of me that even though he lets the midget go, I was happy. I was like, all right, he let the midget go. Because I didn't want the midget to die. I kind of wanted him at the last second to just stab the midget or something. I'm not going to lie. Because I was like, that would have been crazy.
I think we are going to wrap it up.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying as a Joker. I'm not saying as any movie.
I usually end these at about an hour.
All right. But as a Joker movie, you understand. You're ending it because you're like, you're grabbing a knife.
No. I can... Denver. No, I could. One thing about the midget or the little person, whatever you want to call him, is that was like the first of his henchmen. I thought that, like, again, if you're against the comic books, I would say that, like, him rounded up clown henchmen like that seems like it was a Joker move. So I don't know. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug? Any shows you want to talk about coming up?
I'm gonna be at Spotlight in Rhode Island next Thursday, and that's all I have for the rest of the year. That's how I'm going to say it professionally. I got nothing coming up.
Anything online you want to plug?
No, man, I hopefully can do a podcast at some point, but I got to get better at stand-up. So.
All right.
Hard on myself.
Again, so fucking hard on yourself, dude. Thank you
fucking Denver.
so much for
Yeah, no,
being
thanks
on
for
the
having me,
podcast.
bro. It was fun. It was chilling. Is that it? Just click.